Alright, how's it going, guys? My name is Matthew, and I'll be your host for today for this video. For this video today, actually, I've got something that I haven't really... I've definitely done this in the past. It's not really anything too spectacular. It's just really, it really is technically just a replay, but it's a replay of a team that is my very first official Smogon RMT published team, I suppose you could say. And I've never done that in the past, mostly because I'm technologically defective, I suppose, or rather, I'm really shit with computers, I suppose is the more appropriate way of saying it. You know, I don't press the buttons. I just play the Pokemans. You know, that's what I do. But anyways, I found someone to show me how to use the Smogon forum, the god site Smogon, you know. But anyways, this is the first team that I posted, and it's kind of a meme team. But me and a friend, we actually put a lot of time and hard work into making this team as viable as we possibly make it, given the fact that we wanted to maintain our status as a meme team, I suppose. We wanted to maintain what we were doing, so kind of our idea was we wanted a Dedenne Volt Turn into Zard X team. I suppose basically, I won't go over the RMT, but I will link it in the description. I think it's a really fun team. I would highly recommend checking out the RMT because, like I said, we put a lot of work into it, and I think it's very descriptive, and it's a good read. It's a good read. You know what I'm saying? It's a good way to pass the time. You know, if you go there, maybe give me a thumbs up. You know, tell your friends. Also, my username on Smogon is Dazzling Gleam Star, so already you know that the team it's top notch. But also, if I remember, I will link in the description the channel of my good friend George Hore, who built it with me, because yeah, we both did a lot into the team. I did more so in the building. He did more so in the laddering, because I liked playing. I like building, I suppose, a little bit more than I think I like building more than laddering, because laddering oftentimes makes me angry. But team building is really fun, and I like using this team with people. It's funner when you use it with people. But he went like all out, like he went like solo laddering up until like solo laddering for like ages. But we actually got this team up into the 1700s, which put, from what I understand, from what I was told, it put Dedenne for a week on the actual OU usage stats, which is really funny to think, because yeah, like I said, we got it into the 1700s. So that's actually pretty cool to think of. Dedenne made it into the usage stats for OU for a week, or I don't know, something like that. I don't really know how they do their things on Smogon. I just critique them and play the game. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm just joking around. But seriously, from what I understand, we got into the usage stats per week. I'll stop making this introduction really long, because it's already been too long, so I should get into the match. But I'll really quickly go over the team. I'm not going to do a full analysis. I'm just going to really quickly say what the sets are, so you have some kind of context going into this match. So our Dedenne is a max HP and then kind of mixed defenses. They all hit specific benchmarks for specific things. If you want to know what those are, then check out the RMT, because it's a really long list of stuff that we have to have it for. But looking at the current matchup, he's got the Keldeo and the Lobby, and even potentially the Magnezone, which Dedenne has potential to do really good against. So that is, of course, very nice. It is a Citrus Berry Cheek Pouch. I mean, what other ability would you have? It's a Citrus Berry set with Recycle and Volt Switch Super Fang Toxic. Next set is Charizard X. It's a bulky mixed defenses with Flare Blitz, and it's a bulky Wisp set and it's got Roost, of course. And the last move is Dragon Dance, just for a little bit of setup potential. Landorus is as standard can be, with Stone Edge over Knockoff for Talonflame. It's our Rock Setter. It's U-Turn, and obviously Earthquake, so it's as standard as you can get standard to be. Our bulky water here is Starmie. It's our hazard removal. It's a reflect type Starmie as well, which is always nice. Our main source of damage right here is Life Orb, Tornadus, Therian, with Heat Wave, and Heat Wave, Hurricane, Knockoff, and U-Turn as well. Add a little bit to the Volt Turn core, and then finishing off is a fairly standard Scarf Jirachi set, which I always love using with a dual stab, because we don't need Fire Punch for steel types, because like We have the Zard that's meant to beat the Steel types, so if we kill Steel types with Jirachi, then we're not going to have stuff to set up on with Zard. So I guess that's the theory behind our team idea, which I think is, I don't know, I think that's fine anyways. U-turn and Healing Wish as the final 2 moves. So after all that, I guess we'll get into the match. So I lead off with Starmie, expecting him to either lead off with the Keldeo predicting my Landorus, or lead off with Heatran or Landorus and go for Rocks or Scarf U-turn from his Landorus. I mean, hindsight, that was probably not the best play for me to make because he leads off to the Magnezone, and this is really bad because Charizard is not Mega Evolved, so my Electric Resist is Dedenne, and that's not very good to bring in, especially if we would be on a Flash Cannon. So I make a really risky play going into Landorus and basically sack it turn 1, unfortunately, to a Flash Cannon. I really should have U-turned because he would have had to scout for the Scarf right there anyways, but I make the bitch play and go into Zard. Now, thing right here is the Heatran is very obvious, and actually turn 1, right before the match started, he actually said, oh, I just finished reading about this team on the Smogon forums. So man knew all my sets going into the match. So like I said, Heatran was obvious, and he knew that Heatran walled me because he knew I didn't have EQ. So like I said, Heatran was incredibly obvious, but I need Zard Mega Evolved. I need Zard Mega Evolved immediately so I can deal with that Magnezone. So it's worth it because Heatran doesn't really scare my team even with a Flash Fire boost because I have the Starmie in the back to really not care about it. I can spin away his rocks, I have Natural Cure, and Fire Boosted Lava Plume is going to do absolutely nothing. So I double out here into Tornadus, wanting him to go into the Lati, but he actually ends up going to the Magnezone, which is a little bit interesting because it still would have taken a lot of damage from the Scald, and it could have gotten burned. Now I have the Charizard, and he went for Flash Cannon last time, so there's no way he goes for Flash Cannon a second time. I opt to not get Rocks up because I want to go into Torn on his Landorus, get a little bit of momentum, and I click Hurricane a little bit preemptively right here, and that's actually a bad play on my part. First of all, because I miss, I suppose, so you have to take these things into account, but because the Heatran was going to come in, and I should have just gone for knockoff to get rid of the leftovers, but by not knocking off, this makes the game a little bit longer, I suppose. But I do still have the Starmie, which is a pretty free switch to go into anyway, so I can just Rapid Spin. Now, Starmie outspeeds Scarf Magnezone, so I can just Reflect type pretty freely right here as he goes for the Volt Switch. I didn't want to risk Landorus because, I mean, Landorus still is kind of useful even at the health he's at, and I need Keldeo healthy, and not Keldeo, I need Zard healthy, and Starmie taking damage is still going to be able to deal with Keldeo by switching into it. Now, he goes for the Scald. I went into Dedenne because I was part Steel type on a Secret Sword. However, he goes for the Scald and it does absolutely nothing, and I can Toxic the Landorus as it comes in, and that's really, really nice because, well, I can start whittling away at the Landorus, and that's going to help Zard out a lot. I mean, I can't burn him now, but it's still going to help out Zard. He goes for Knockoff. He doesn't have Rocks, so I don't know what his last move is because he doesn't go for Stone Edge there, but Knockoff wouldn't kill, and neither does U-turn, so luckily enough I'm actually able to get my Rocks up, and there's no reason to sack Landorus as Death Fodder when I have a Starmie that can live 2 critical hit Scalds from Keldeo anyways. So yeah, I save it as Death Fodder, there's no reason to sack it, and I've been doubling into Torn pretty much every time anyways, that I guess he's been wisening up to that anyways because he goes for the double Scald. Now, he's not going to sack his Keldeo, although I suppose that probably would have been a good play for him to sack his Keldeo just to get rid of my Tornadus, but I'm finally able to knock off the Heatran. That's really, really good because plays that, well, Torn would have died to Life Orb is basically what I'm saying, so I think he probably should have just traded out right there. I try to make Flash plays right there by doubling, but as you can see, he's starting to wisen up to my tricks, and he goes for Rocks as I switch into, as I double, and yeah, that doesn't work out for me, so lose a little bit of momentum on my side of the field right there, but I still spin on this, but we're into a situation right here where he's willing to sack his Heatran just in order to get up Stealth Rocks, and that makes sense, I mean, because his Heat Train's getting whittled quite a lot. Every time he wants to bring Heat Train in on Torn, he's taking 12 from Rocks, he's taking potentially a knockoff or a Hurricane, and then he's taking another 3 from U-Turn, and he's not really going to be able to do a whole heck of a lot with his Heat Train anyway, so he's willing to sack his Heat Train to guarantee Rocks stay up, and I try to play around it a little bit. I want to do some like fancy stuff, because he's at 9%, and U-Turn does 3%, and Rapid Spin does minimum 1%, so I was going to see if I could get him low enough to kill him with Rapid Spin and remove Rocks, but I think, I don't know, it was going to be awkward because I'd have to be recovering every few turns, and it was just going to be awkward in general, so I didn't really, I kind of gave up with it at that point. But right here, like I say I gave up with it, but I looked at my team and I was wondering if it's worth going through all these extra turns just to kill him with Rapid Spin, and I realized two things. The first thing is that Starmie spins on like the majority of his team. Like, it spins on Keldeo, it spins on Magnezone if I can Reflect type, or if I don't know, if he's locked into Flash Cannon. I spin on Gardevoir and Lati because I'm faster than them if I need to spin on them, so I really don't even need to spin right now. There's really no reason to. But the second thing to note is Dedenne dies to Psyshock from Lati at the health it's at, but after Stealth Rocks, Citrus Berry and Cheek Poke prompts and puts me back to full HP, and that means Lati can't OHKO Dedenne, and that's kind of a relevant thing. So that's actually the thing that made me just change my mind on making all these weird plays. I'm like, you know what, no, I'll just keep Rocks up. If I need to get rid of them later, I'll get rid of them later. So, like you say, you're going for Rocks, so I may as well just get my health back with Recover. Like, it would be too risky for him to go for Lava Plume on me Rapid Spinning because he'd lose way too much, so there's basically no risk. He brought in Landorus right here, and I just finished fighting a Stealth Rock Heatran for like several turns, so I make a really, really bad play right here, and like, he brought it in on Starmie, so that in combination with the fact that I just faced a Stealth Rock Heatran for a ton of turns made me think that he was Scarf for some reason. Even though I saw Rocky Helmet, even though I saw him switch moves, I was convinced he was Scarf just because, like I said, he brought it in on Starmie when I could have killed him with Scald, and I just finished facing the Heatran, which you don't really see defensive Heatran and Landorus together. But as you'll see right here, I'm back to full HP with Dedenne. That was pretty much my only time to get a free switch in, and it worked out perfectly because I'm at full health and I forced the Lati out. Now I go for Super Fang because I have my Berry, and if he wants to go for Flash Cannon, then he goes for Flash Cannon, but he goes for Thunderbolt. That is really nice because it means I live that, and yeah, I'm able to get a Super Fang off on both the Magnezone and the Lati. However, at the health I'm at right now I can't live a Psyshock, so I do have to switch out if I want, of course, to keep the god Dedenne alive, and of course I do because, you know, Dedenne is the greatest Pokemon in the game. Able to finish off the Lati. Like I said, I had a full health Jirachi, so that wasn't really too risky of a play to make anyways, so that's just what I go into. Torn in versus the Gardevoir. If he wants to keep Regenerator to switch, he can't Mega Evolve. If he doesn't Mega Evolve, then I can go hard to Jirachi anyway, so U-Turn was my best play. He ends up going into Magnezone, and that works out nice for me because I can go into Starmie right here, and I mean, like I said, I can Rapid Spin on this, I can Reflect type on this, but basically I calced it, and I mean, that crit didn't matter. I don't even know why I said I can Rapid Spin and Reflect type on this, but I calced it before. The crit didn't matter. It does 27% min to the Magnezone, so yeah, the crit didn't matter. I didn't choke or anything right there, and prey off hacks, it worked out for me. He goes into Gardevoir, and then he doubles into Keldeo, trying to bait out my Jirachi, I would expect, because he is Scarf Keldeo, but I mean, I get the play because he kind of had to make that anyways, but I just want to damage on the Keldeo, on the Gardevoir. Like, I basically won on this at this point anyways, because I've got the Torn, I've got the Jirachi, I even got the Dedenne as well, which the Dedenne would be put in range of Citrus Berry again if I had lost my Starmie because Rocks would have been up. But anyways, I go out here into Dedenne the God, predict that Focus Blast immaculately. However, we end up missing. I actually wanted the Focus Blast to hit, and you'll see right here I make some plays so that I do have the Focus Blast hit, because I want Dedenne to be at enough health to actually live a hit, because, you know, I want Dedenne to do a thing. So as you'll see, we take the Focus Blast next turn. 24%, that's still a hell of a lot of damage. With the special defense drop though, so now we're not going to stay in, so switch out into Jirachi. If you went for Focus Blast, you went for Focus Blast, doesn't matter. I've still got Torn, I've still got Starmie, and I've still got a pretty much full health Dedenne, but he doesn't, he Hyper Voices, and I'm able to just U-turn on that, kill it, and all that's left is Keldeo. Goes for Scald, and that's good for me because I get burned, but because I don't stay in, I go for Volt Switch. I'm in range of living the next Scald from him anyway, so he would have killed me right here with Scarf Scald, but Dedenne would have lived the next Scald anyways. So yeah, I would have, you know, won the game with Dedenne right there. So I don't know, it was just a fun match that I had. It was, I'm not even sure where it was on the ladder. I think it was just around the middle section of the ladder. I'm honestly not sure where it was. I think he played competently enough that it was a good match to watch, and I think I played competently enough to come back from my turn 1 sack Lando play to a 4-0 victory. But yeah, well, I guess technically it would have been a 3-0, because like I said, he would have killed my Jirachi right here with Scarf Scald, unless he was like modest or something. But yeah, Scarf Scald and then go into Dedenne and finish him off. But no, fun game, and yeah, the team is really fun, and it's worked out surprisingly well.